Hey there. Welcome to another installment of Look What I Picked Up. What we've got here is a Bram Stoker's Dracula, machine made by Williams. And this is one of those sleeper machines that kind of been looking out for, but I really haven't played, so I don't know much about it. But I've heard good things, and I'm anxious to kind of play with it. I thought I would throw the videotape on from the moment I got the machine so we can just discover along with me what I find. Now this is a machine that somebody contacted me and wanted to get rid of, and I drove about an hour and a half to pick it up, and it was one of those deals where the price was too good to not pass up. So I picked it up. And it's one of those situations. This is a good example of why we people in the pinball industry really lowball and try to get as cheap a deal, because no matter what they say, usually there's something much more serious wrong with it. So take a look at what I've found so far. Obviously the cabinet's not too bad. The Dracula's supposed to be darker red, but this pinkish red isn't too bad. So the cabinet's not all that bad. It's got some scrapes and minor things on it. I haven't cleaned the cabinet, so what you're seeing is basically just taking it out of my vehicle. A cursory examination reveals some cosmetic issues. Somebody's put some kind of a sticker there. You'll notice right up here, this top part is cracked, and it's also cracked over on the other side. This is one of those things that the seller didn't really mention to me until I investigated further after I got some pictures. You'll see what I noticed right down here. The side rails have this indentation on them too. It's on both sides and it's pretty nasty. Look at that. That's just horrible. That's significant damage. Well, what happened was, apparently when this thing was transported and shipped to the seller, they took the head and they rolled it they laid it down, and then they cinched it up super tight to the point where they actually broke the glass. I don't know what kind of an idiot did that, but it was really stupid. So they broke the glass, and the seller replaced it with plexiglass, so this is not even glass here. This is one of those things that was not really mentioned, and just from looking you can see there's a broken plastic. I haven't even really examined the playfield. I don't know what to look for yet, but obviously there's some problems. So if you know anything about pinball, you're probably looking at this, adding up the numbers, going, okay, well, it's worth this much, now it's worth this much less. I'll go over what I got it for maybe later, but let's take a look in the back box. First things first, it's pretty clean. Well, wait, but before we do that, let me show you what I discovered. First tip, we'll look at the coin door. And that says €1. Yes. So what we've got here is an import. Now when I saw the pictures of the machine, I saw 2 coin doors, so I thought it was not an import. Usually the imports are 3 coin doors. But then if you walk around to the back of the machine, you'll see there it is. 230 volts, 50 hertz for export only. 220, 240 volts. So this was made and shipped for the European market. So it's a re-import. The thing about these re-import machines is usually they're pretty dogged out because they've lived a very long active life. The Europeans love to play pinball, and they also love to smoke, and usually these things just reek of cigarette smoke. I haven't noticed it yet, but this is not the first import I've picked up. Usually the machines they're relatively well maintained. I think what happens with these machines is you won't find the kind of goofball weird rigging that some of the American operators will do. They'll I've seen on these bridge rectifiers, I've literally seen one rectifier bolted to the back of another rectifier as a heat sink. Some bizarre stuff like that. You don't see that here. the first thing we want to look at when we look inside the back box is obviously we want to go straight over here to the battery pack. In this case, there's no batteries, which is awesome. There's also no battery damage. Usually the batteries in this pack will have been here for a long time, they will have leaked and then damaged the circuit board. In this case, we do not have that problem. That's really, really nice. And you can even look on the actual battery terminals, and there's not really even any corrosion or acid damage. It's really nice. So that's a good sign. Another good sign is to check these GI connectors around here. Williams machines have some flaws in some of the wiring, in that the voltage needed to drive the general illumination circuit is so high that these transfer points here along some of these connections will heat up, and you'll actually see burn marks. In some cases, you'll literally see soot from something overheating. In this case, we don't have that. One of the first things I look for is I look for charred marks along here, or signs that some of these connectors were replaced. We do not see that anywhere along here. We see nice, clean, original connectors. So that means this machine has been pretty well maintained, and it doesn't suffer from the usual problems that we see, where we see charred and burned connectors for the GI circuit. So it means the machine may not have been run as hard as we think. Otherwise, you want to take a quick look at the fuse block here. Make sure there's nothing funny there, weird fuses that are the wrong size, pieces of tin foil. Everything looks good. Then you check the caps here. These are for the power supply. You want to see if any of them are bulging. No problems. Right there, no problems. You obviously see some signs of age here. But all in all, the boards look good. They look good and they look clean. We don't want to turn anything on until we give everything an examination. Now also, after you move these kinds of machines, you basically want to go through and press down on all the connectors. Make sure that they're properly seated, and none of them are halfway in and out, especially with the ones on the DMD here too. You want to make sure all the connectors are in, and then just generally look around. Do you see anything odd? Does everything look okay? Is there anything unplugged? See the coil up here looks good, no problem. We got missing head bolt there, missing head bolt here. This is an odd mod. Look at that. Apparently somebody wanted to run the ground down into the lower cabinet through here. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that or not, but I've got the bolt there to go in. So that's what we're looking at so far. It doesn't look too bad. Alright, so let's take a look at the playfield in a moment.